All right, so it's all over. This will be a quick review, quick talking point, quick highlights of the game that we just saw. I have covered the Black Stars for a long time, and I can confidently say that in the last 5 years, at least in the last 5 years, this is the best performance I have seen of a Black Stars team. And it's a game where they didn't even win. It's just the sheer guts with which they performed. It's the organization. It's the structure. And it was a game that revealed to me, no matter what anybody tells you, coaching matters at the highest level. This looked a completely different team to anything we've seen in the last few years. They were so organized, they played for each other. Everybody understood the assignment, everyone understood their role. And we spoke to some of the players after the game, and they said the same thing, that the preparation that they put into this game was very different than any game they've ever prepared for. In fact, Marvin Sanaya, who put up a man of the match performance, said that before the match, he had watched several videos of all their wingers. So it's no surprise then that he had the kind of performance that he did against Anthony Gordon and later even Bukayo Saka. And then on the left-hand side, Gideon Mensah, he had an absolutely amazing game also against Noni Madueke. So this is preparation. So for me, that's the first thing that I have to say, that the coaching was absolutely spot on. Throughout the entire week, the coach has been speaking about something. And that one thing is fight. He said it doesn't matter the result. He wants the players to come out of this game with their chins held high, knowing that they left everything on the pitch. And this match could have ended in a 1-0 victory, 2-0 victory, or it could have ended in a 2-0 defeat, 1-0 defeat. I think there would be no single soul, even if they had lost this game, there would be no single Ghanaian that would have said, or that could have said, that the performance was poor. I think this performance was one of the best I've seen from this team in a long time. It was gutsy, it was determined, and it had everything. Individual players stepped up, and as a collective, I don't think I've seen Ghana perform this well in such in a mighty long time. So for me, I think that's the first thing. The coaching, Carlos Queiroz and his coaching staff, they deserve absolute plaudits. But there's also time to single out individual performances. And sometimes when a team does this well, you don't want to make it seem like you're picking. I don't think there was a single loser in this game. There was not one player that you could pinpoint and say he had a poor game. From the goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari, didn't have much to do, but the few things that were thrown at him, he was absolutely spot on with his decision making. Made a great save off Harry Kane, and it took him until the 68th minute, Harry Kane, to get a shot on target in this particular match. That's how defensively solid Ghana played in this game. Benjamin Asare deserves his plaudit. I already mentioned Marvin Sanaya and Gideon Mensah. A quick word on Marvin Sanaya. I think he was the man of the match, without a doubt. Jude Bellingham said that he didn't deserve the man of the match, and he's right, because he was even substituted in 73rd minute. How do you win one of the match when you've only played maybe 3/3 of the game? It just makes no sense, 3/4 of the match. But anyway, so Marvin Sanaya, what a guy. This is a guy Otuado said wasn't good enough, that he couldn't find a right back, but the guy was always there. Nonetheless, I think he's come into the team, doesn't talk much, but always delivers the goods. And I think big salute to him. Another player that deserves credit is Gideon Mensah. Already mentioned him, incredible performance. And he came up against some of the best wingers in the world, league winners, but he absolutely stood his own. And Jonas Ajete and Jerome Opoku. Listen, guys, when Salisu and Juku were out, we thought that we were finished. We came into this tournament very worried about our defensive partnership. But our defensive line are turning out to be the revelation of this competition. They've faced 30 shots in this tournament, and they've conceded none. Ghana is a country that has faced the most shots in this competition without conceding a goal. And this is an entirely new unit. So to do that, And to be able to quickly form such a great chemistry and partnership, for me, I think it's unbelievable. And it's a word also to a lot of the Ghanaian fans that sometimes we're too quick to dismiss players, even the media. Some of us are very guilty about that. The eagerness to dismiss people because of one or two poor games. Jonas Ajeti, he was so calm. His nerves and the control. He looked a completely different player than the one that we saw a couple of months ago. And if we followed the fans and some journalists, Ajete would not even have been at the World Cup. So maybe sometimes we just need to be a little bit patient with our players. And Thomas Partey, my word, a class of his own. I have said in the past that I would have benched him in the game against Panama, but to see what he did against England, I think there was no doubt that we all knew that he needed to come back in the game against England. And this is the reason he's Thomas. This is what Thomas is known for. One of his best performances in the Ghana shirt in a long time. And he didn't put a foot wrong. Defensively, he helped out a lot. Offensively, a few good things came through him. And his all-round game management, he was always at the right place at the right time. Cut out a lot of dangerous balls, and he was absolutely superb. He was incredible. And I think that even for the forward players, Antoine Semenyo had a really good game. His task was very simple. Try and lead the line as much as possible. Jordan Ayew saved. And for me, a quick word on Jordan Ayew. I think this is the kind of game we always want Jordan to play. A place where, when we are under pressure, he can win fouls up top, win a couple of free kicks here and there, and he put body on the line until he was substituted. And today, I agree with the coach. The time he took him off was the time he was supposed to take him off. He did his job. Yeah, but look, I saw a stat on Opta. Jordan Ayew has applied the most defensive pressures in the entire tournament. 88 overall. And we don't see it sometimes. But those defensive pressures are taking off and pressuring and applying pressure, okay, or pressing opposition defenders. Sometimes, and every time, like 98% of the time when you press, you don't usually just win the ball. But it forces the defender to either go back, go square, or make a mistake. And that in itself, it's a great skill to have. And I think today Jordan did his job. Antoine Semenyo did his job too. And I think for Prince Edu Kwabena, a little bit unlucky. That's where experience comes in. He should have scored that goal. The first touch wasn't great. But I don't want to kill him too much because I feel like he also deserves a penalty. And that's the second game in a row where a really crucial penalty decision was not even reviewed in the first place. Kwanzaa didn't get the ball. For me, I think that should have been a penalty. But it wasn't taken. 4 points for Ghana. We continue our history of never losing a second group stage game at the FIFA World Cup. It's the first time England have not won a competitive game since 2004. Since 2024. And we managed to stop them. It was Thomas Tuchel has been crying in the post-match. He said Ghana's played such a low block, it was difficult for them to apply any sort of intensity. The master of haram ball is crying about haram ball. I love it. Yeah. But bottom line, guys, 4 points. Now the task is simple. Go to Philadelphia on Saturday, beat Croatia, top the group that has England in there. Yeah, we're more than capable of topping the group. If we finish second in the group, guys, we are going back to Toronto. And you know Thomas can't go. We have to stay here. And the only way we stay here is if we finish top in the group. And I believe that we can do it. If we can hold England, we can beat Croatia. I know football doesn't follow that logic, but I really don't care. Bottom line is, we're capable. But tonight, celebrate, guys. We all deserve it. All the fans, for all of you watching, and for all the players, I say, Ayuko, this is what the World Cup is about. These are the performances that get the fans behind the team. And I think tonight, the Black Stars players have earned the support of the entire nation. Cheers, guys.